It's our reality, just your average family, trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Today we got Thundermans Season 3, Episode 7, Doppelgamers. This episode starts off at the Thunder House with Phoebe, with Max, Phoebe, Oyster, and Cherry all playing a video game together, which is kind of a good reference to what happened last season with Never Friending Story, where they all became friends by the end, which is kind of good that they're still keeping up that tradition of still being friends. With even Max says, "All right, guys, they finally got a beat. They're finally gonna be sick day 2, the sickening." Oyster says they've lost that pink eye dude like 100 times. Cherry says she's defeated the real pink eye more than she's defeated the video game pink eye. Phoebe says they're hitting pink eye with everything they've got. She thinks he's unbeatable. Phoebe says she can't keep losing to some villain named Pink Eye. She can't keep losing to some villain named Pink Eye. Yeah, because she's a superhero. How can she be a superhero? How can she be a hero? Yeah. How can she beat up a villain if she can't beat a guy? If she can't beat a guy, she can't beat a virtual one. She's a superhero fan of this game. Yeah, and there must be some kind of design flaw. Max says some villains can't be beat. He should know. He's a super fan of this game too. Yeah, the whole joke is that Oyster's there, so they can't just say that they're superheroes. So they have to come up with a fake name, a fake thing to hide what they're actually saying in front of Oyster. Cherry knows what they're talking about because we know by now that she knows their secret. But since Oyster doesn't, they have to come up with a fake thing to. Yeah. Oyster says there's got to be some sort of cheat code or something. Phoebe says, Max says there's nothing. The only guy who knows how to beat this game is the guy who made it. It's the man who made it. Cybron James. Cherry says she heard Cybron James lives in a cave during the winter. Oh, right. That's a bear. Oh. That's a bear. Oh, wait, no, that's a bear. She actually heard that Cybron James is going to be at Gamerfest next week. Phoebe says, Gamerfest? That has been sold out for weeks. They need to keep trying. Come on. They need to keep trying. Come on, you know what they say when you invite your friends off. What you said when. Come on. Oyster says, you know what they say. When you invite your friend. Oyster says, you know what they say. When you invite your friends over, offer them something to drink. Phoebe says, drinks for a winner. Attack! Billy says, cool, what are they doing? And Phoebe said, and then they just start randomly attacking. Phoebe says, what are you guys doing? And Nora says, getting their game on. Billy says, Mark says, what? What's that, Chloe? Okay, he'll send them up. Chloe wants them upstairs. Phoebe says, it sounds urgent. And Billy says, Phoebe and Max are always sending them upstairs to play with Chloe. They want to hang out with them. Oyster says, that reminds him. He has a lot of questions about Chloe. Like, he's no baby doctor, but how can a girl who's 4 years old, how can a girl who's meant to be 6 months look like she's 4 years old? Or wait, no. He does actually say, how can she be 6 months? How can she be that big for only 6 months? But he should have been questioning, how can she be 4 years old when she's only supposed to be 6 months old? Next, to distract Oyster from answering any more questions about his family, asks Oyster if he wants a drink. Oyster says, yeah, and they leave. Yeah, I guess that's how you get Oyster off the questions of, how is Chloe it's supposed to be a 6-month-old baby, but she looks like a 4-year-old child? Yeah, technically in actual sense, Chloe's supposed to only be 6 months old by now because she was born like 6 months ago, but she looks 4, so that's what Oyster should be questioning. But Max is able to distract him with his drink question, and they go off. Cherry says she'll keep them off the superhero thing. Hey, Oyster, ever thought of the thunderman's last name? Well, don't. Okay, Cherry, now you're going to make him question it. Phoebe says Billy and Nora are right. I guess they haven't been spending a lot of time with them lately. Next weekend they'll do something together. Max says, he's busy. Nora says they want to go to the water park. And Max says, yeah, he lied. Water park sounds good. Phoebe says, perfect. Next weekend, just the 4 of them. And Oyster says, here's another question. What's up with all the man-shaped holes in their ceiling? Which, yeah. And Max says, they have cupcakes. And Oyster says, awesome. And Max says, he knows. Meanwhile, after the opening, in the A-plot, Phoebe asks the Thunder Monitor how to defeat Pink Eye. Some of the Thunder Monitor says, initiating Pink Eye treatment, and sprays Phoebe in the face. Phoebe says she meant the video game. She meant the video game character. She meant the video game character. She says, I guess that's what she gets for asking advice from an expensive doorbell. Max says he's been trying all week and he finally scored 4 tickets to Gamerfest. Cherry and Oyster are on their way over. Phoebe says, Gamerfest? They're actually going? But, she feels like she forgot something. Then Hank says, oh, hey guys, when are you taking Billy and Nora to the water park? Phoebe says, that's it. Hank says, they promised last week. They told them they would take them to the water park. Phoebe says, but they promised themselves a minute ago they would go to Gamerfest. Besides, Billy and Nora probably forgot about that. Barb says, not so sure, and opens the blinds to show Billy and Nora in scuba gear. Max says he can't stand seeing them like that, so he uses telekinesis to close the blinds. But Barb says, okay guys, Billy and Nora just want to hang out with their brother and sister. Phoebe says this could be her only chance to talk to Cyber and James and learn how to defeat Pink Eye. How can she defeat a real bad guy when she can't beat a made-up one? Max says he needs to introduce Cyber and James to his next video game character. He based on a sketch of him. He needs to come up with a cool name. Phoebe says Jerkules. Then Chloe says Jerkules. Again, I love Chloe. Ding. This happens every episode Chloe comes on the screen because she just has the best. Every time Chloe comes on the screen, I happen to say I love Chloe because she just has the best lines. And also, she made me clap for once in a while. Barb says they promised Billy and Nora that they would spend time with them. Hank says, so if they want to go to Gamerfest, just take Billy and Nora with them. Max says, that's your best idea, Hanko. Which is a good reference to how Max used to call Hank that in season 1. So then Billy, he stopped doing that after a while. Then Barb says, or they could just ground them. And Max says, well played, Barb. Phoebe says, what are they going to do about Cherry and Oyster? Max says, he'll break it to them gently. Cut to Cherry and Oyster chanting about Gamerfest and going to the Thunder House. Chanting Gamerfest. Only to see a note saying, sorry they moved. And they say, aw. But then a hand that they for some reason don't notice slips another note saying that they'll be back tomorrow. An oyster says "sweeches," and they leave for the rest of the episode. Yeah, Oyster and Cherry just leave. They're just not in the episode after this. Yeah, so I think Oyster and Cherry leave the episode because if they came to GamerFest, the episode's plot would be over very quickly. So say goodbye to Oyster and Cherry. Cherry comes in next episode, but we don't see Oyster again until episode 12. Dating exceptions. Yeah, we don't see Oyster until episode 12, but Cherry's in next episode. So I'm just saying that literally this is your way to write them out of the episode. They just Oyster says "sweeches" and they just leave. Anyway, meanwhile on the B plot, Barb, Hank, and Chloe are playing bowling balls with a ball, but it's not a bowling ball. Barb says, man." That just reminded me of Swiper from Dora the Explorer. Man. She just keeps missing the pins. She gets Chloe wins again. Chloe says, "Victory lap!" and run, "Victory lap!" And Chloe runs off. Hank says he can't just keep letting Chloe win. Super kids need to be challenged. If she keeps going easy on Chloe will never learn hard work. Never learn to work hard at anything. Barb says Hank's right, but Chloe's her little baby. But she's 4 years old, so yeah, she'd feel bad if she won. Hank says, luckily, he has no problem showing their kids he's better than them. Egotistical Hank is back. Yep. Welcome back, Egotistical Hank. We never missed you. I don't know why the writers love making Hank this egotistical. They love bringing this guy back. Anytime Hank has a competition with his kids, you know egotistical Hank is gonna come. At least he's not in the episode for long. Thank G. But it's just weird that the writers love bringing in Hank's egotistical side anytime he has to compete against his kids. Maybe we should just not have him compete against his kids and we can never see egotistical Hank again. Yeah. Hank says he has no problem showing that their kids he's better than them. Chloe comes back and says, "Lap 2, victory, lap 2." And Hank says he's going to beat Chloe and runs after her. But he gets a toe cramp. Meanwhile, on the A plot, at GamerFest, Phoebe says they're actually here, Severin and James, and the answer to beating 100 in his games are 100 people. Max uses telekinesis and then says, "Make that 99. Nora says they came here to have fun with Phoebe and Max, not standing in line all day. Phoebe says, "What is Nora talking about? This is awesome. Look at them, standing in a line. Woo!" Billy says, "Woo!" Nope, this line's the worst. Okay, that's the first funny line Billy has ever given me. Phoebe says they wanted to go to the water park. She sees a virtual water park over there. Why don't they head over there and they'll meet them when they're done? Max says, unless one of them sells a game villain to Cyberon, then so long, suckers. Nora says, they're supposed to be having fun together. That's the whole point. And Phoebe says, they will. Later. They'll even buy them a snow cone. Nora says, they can't buy them off. And then Billy says, make a snow cone wrapped in funnel cake, and they got himself a deal. Nora says, Billy, and they go. But again, Billy, I don't think, okay, if someone's watching this video, can they look up and see if snow cones wrap, snow funnel snow cakes are real? I don't think they are. I don't want to believe they are, but I get things wrong sometimes. So can someone please watching this video show me, comment under the thing saying, hey, saying snow funnel cakes are real. Because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Nora says Phoebe and Max really don't want to hang out with them. Billy says forget them. They can still have fun. And Nora says and then they put on their VR glasses. Nora says her VR glasses are too tight. Billy says his are too. And Nora says help her and she'll help him. And they look at each other and they're causing their glasses elastic bands to snap. That's when they're saved by a guy and a girl. The guy asks Billy if he is all right, and the girl introduces herself as Fifi, and that's her brother Matt. Billy says, "Do they look like?" And Nora says, "Kinda." Yeah, they're just Phoebe and Max bootlegs. Yeah, that's what I'll dub them. Phoebe and the bootleg Phoebe and Max ripoffs. Fifi and Matt. That's what they'll be named now because that's literally what they are. They literally dress like Fifi. Literally just dresses like Phoebe. She has, yeah. Phoebe and Matt show Billy and Nora. Yeah. Phoebe and Max were bootleg ripoffs. Fifi and Matt show Billy and Nora how to use the headsets. Use the VR glasses. Nora said, and the first shot we see of the VR headset of the virtual reality is feet. Yep. The first thing we see is feet on a water slide. We don't see we don't see Nora's head, we don't see nothing, we just see a person's feet. Which makes me believe that Dan Schneider had something to do with this. This dude's obsessed with feet. How can you not have an episode where they show feet? Okay, Dan, did writers of the Thundermans, you must really like Dan Schneider if you literally have to be like him and show off feet as your first thing of virtual reality. It creeps me out that literally the first thing we see, we don't even see like no one's like face or like the virtual reality's person's face or body. All we see is their feet. Proving that this episode was sponsored by Dan Schneider's Feet Club. Because literally, I think Dan Schneider had something to do with this. Because this was when he was still a part of Nickelodeon, so they must have asked him or were inspired by him. Because why would you not? Because why would your episode literally show off someone's feet? Again, they were probably inspired by Dan. Nora says she's on a water slide. This is why she was born. And ripoff Matt, and bootleg ripoff Matt says you guys are super fun. And Nora says glad someone thinks so. Billy says this fake water feels so real. Then we see a lifeguard spraying water from a bottle into Billy's mouth. And then we never see that lifeguard again. But anyway. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Hank is throwing a bowling ball through a pin. Throwing the bowling ball through the pin. He literally throws it right through the pin, leaving a hole right through it. Chloe says, "Nice try, Daddy." And Hank says, "She's trying to psych me out, Barb." And Barb says, "This is your idea of challenging Chloe?" Barb says, "Let her show us how it's done." Cut to Chloe knocking down all the pins saying, "Yay! Time for a victory snack." Teleporting away. Or out. She teleports away. Costa says they're tired of losing to Chloe. If they're tired of losing to Chloe, he just happens to be a bowling ball champion. Hank's like, "You, a bowling ball champion?" And Costa says, yeah, he was. He was the MVP of the Villain League bowling ball team, the Bohemian Rhapsodies. Barb says, so he thinks he would help them win. What's in it for him? Costa says, all he wants is for Barb to read him a bedtime story. Well, Hank checks in for ticks. But they're like, yeah, never gonna happen. And Costa literally shows them that literally jumps to the next shot where he shows them his bowling ball skill. So Hank says, "Time to check for ticks, coach." Meanwhile, in the A-plot, Max says it's like looking into a gorgeous mirror while looking at his sketch. Phoebe says, "Stop staring at his jerky." Hank says, Max says, "That's not what it's called." And Phoebe and Max try to get in, but the bouncer says no. Says won't let them. Max says, "Yeah, right." And the bouncer says, "Cyron is reviewing his new game, Spitball. It's for kids. They need to be accompanied by kids 13 or under." Phoebe says, "You should have led with that." And he says, and shows them the sign. And Max says, "Wait a minute, they have kids, Nora and what's his face, Billy." Then they call Nora and Billy, they call off Nora and Billy. Nora and Billy show up asking for their wristbands. They do. Max says they're so in, but surprise, they give them to the Phoebe and Max ripoff, Fifi and Matt. Max laughs it off, thinking that Billy is too dumb not to see that that's not him. And then, as we see in this scene, Nora says they're giving their tickets to Fifi and Matt. Max says, "Come on," and they try to say hi, but Max says, "Shut it, not cool hair." And Fifi says hi, and she says, "Shut it, pretty face." Yeah. Nora says Fifi and Matt have been a brother and sister to them in a minute. Then Phoebe and Max have been in months. So yeah. Then Billy says they'll only let them in if they give him his funnel snow cake. Then they look at each other and he's like, "That's what I thought." And then Billy go in with Fifi and Matt. Then Billy and Nora are jumping rope while Fifi and Matt and Fifi watch. Max and Phoebe are behind a curtain watching them, and Max says he can't believe Billy and Nora ditched them. Phoebe says she can't believe it. They've been pushing Billy and Nora to Chloe. So and now they've pushed them to Phoebe to the Phoebe and Max bootleg clones. Phoebe and ripoffs, Phoebe and Matt. Phoebe says something about Matt's face makes her sick, and Max says he feels the same about the way Phoebe and her feels the same way about Fifi and her pointy elbow. Billy and Nora win the jump rope, and Fifi and Matt say it's a new record. Phoebe says they really messed up. That should be them in there. Max says he knows. He's great at double dutch. The high score should be his. And Phoebe says, no. She meant that should be them in there with having fun. They should be the ones in there having fun with Billy and Nora. not cool hair and pretty face. Max, and then you get in there and apologize. Max says he doesn't know who pretty face is, even though he should know it's Fifi. I don't get that joke. But anyway, let's get in there. He knows the way out. Cut to Max dressed up as a kid and Phoebe pretending to be his mom. Bouncers obviously see through this and out them, and they try another way. Then there's a whole joke about, Phoebe sees a guard, outs them, and Phoebe does try to pretend like that's not her son and tries to get in, but they stop her. A female bouncer stops her, which is like, Max says, how are they supposed to get wristbands? Phoebe sees them let a guard through, and Phoebe says they don't need wristbands. Then she sees that Max has shrunken him. He's trying to act like a kid again, and Phoebe tells him to get up. Max says he thought this plan through. Meanwhile, on the B plot, all what happens is that Colosso trains Barb and Hank. He abuses Barb and Hank. That's it. That nothing else of things happened in that B plot. So back in the A plot, Phoebe and Max are dressed up as guards. Billy and Nora, they go to Billy and Nora, and Billy and Nora try to call security on them. They say it's them, but Billy says he knows, but still tries to call security, which is kind of funny. Nora says they're so sorry. Phoebe and Max say Phoebe and Max says she's so sorry, and Nora says, yeah, right. She's just sorry they couldn't use them to get in themselves. They couldn't use them to get in there. Billy says they don't want to hang out with them anymore. The Phoebe and Max ripoff clones, Fifi and Matt and Fifi, hook them up. They get to play a live-action version of Cyberon's new game, Spitball. Nora says, see ya, and Max says, well, they tried their best. If Phoebe needs him, that's too bad. He'll be busy talking to Cyberon, and Max leaves. The Phoebe ripoff clone, Fifi, shows up and says, they were looking for the guard. Cyber wants everyone in position. They're about to start Spitball. Phoebe says, right, because she works here. Remind her what her position is again? They say, guard the walls so the little kids they found don't escape. Phoebe says, Billy and Nora, why would they need to escape? Rip off Max clone. Matt says, how does she know their name? Phoebe says, oh, yeah. I just call every kid I see I know Billy and Nora. Then two kids walk by and she calls them Billy and Nora. Rip-off clone, Phoebe rip-off clone, Fifi says, wasn't she at the meeting this morning? The games are rigged so Billy and Nora can't win. And Phoebe says, rigged. And rip-off clone, Max rip-off clone, Matt, says, look, just make sure that they don't get out. Then Billy and Nora enter the game, and Matt says, here they come. Phoebe rip-off clone, Fifi says, poor suckers, they were easy targets after their brother and sister abandoned them. Phoebe says, abandon is a bit of a strong word, said the employee who needs to get back to her station. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Chloe strikes all but one pin, but Chloe misses the last pin, and Barb and Hank win. Barb says even though Chloe didn't win, Chloe tried her best, and that's what's important. Chloe says, okay. Chloe says, that was fun, and Hank says, that's his baby girl, and they high five. Chloe goes over to talk to Colosso, and Colosso says it's not Chloe's fault. With him as their coach, Chloe didn't stand a chance. Chloe says she let Hank and Barb win, and Colosso laughs, saying, "Yeah, right, you let them win. Yeah, right, you let them win. Just man up and admit you choked." So then Chloe throws a bowling ball behind her back, knocking the pin over. And Colosso says, Constance says, she didn't just do that. And Chloe says, believe it, baby. Ding on the baby one. Meanwhile, in the A plot, again, that was a good thing about Chloe wanting Hank and Barb are so happy they won. That was nice of Chloe just to let them win. Meanwhile, in the A plot, Cybron says, welcomes his adoring Cybron Knights. Cybron James presents you his latest masterpiece, Spitball. Hit the target, capture the flag, win the game, and get hit with the spit. Bear the ultimate shame. Bring forth the spit. Phoebe tells Billy and Nora that the game is rigged, and Nora says, yeah, right. How? And Phoebe says, she doesn't know. She wasn't at the meeting. The game starts and Billy and Nora jump in. Billy says, let's show them what they got. And while that's that, and Nora starts shooting up and arrowing stuff. While that's happening, Max shows Cybron his sketch. Cybron says, Max has promise. Cybron will linger on Max's work, while Max lingers on his. Nora says, this is awesome. They're about to win. Nora shoots out the last cannon and is about to get the flag when another cannon turns around. Billy says, why does winning look like losing? And Max says, a second cannon. How are they supposed to win now? Cybron says, they aren't. Cybron's games are unbeatable. That's what keeps people playing, and that's what makes Cybron filthy rich. Max says, that's diabolical. This pleases Max. Cybron says, these frightened kids, i.e. these frightened losers, Billy and Nora, will be all over the cover of every Spitball game box. Max says, they'll be humiliated. Cybron says, that's right. And Max says, then Max takes back his sketch. And also, Max is using the weird name thing and the laugh. Ha 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 ha. I think Evil Man had a one better. Yeah, that was a better one. Billy and Nora try to call it to Fifi and Max. The Phoebe and Max bootleg ripoff clone, Fifi and Matt, but Fifi and Matt, but they only see Fifi and Matt yell and laugh at them. Nora says they've been set up. Billy is too dumb, so he tries to tell Fifi and Matt that they've been set up. Billy, literally, they set you up. And Nora says, Phoebe was right. This game is rigged. So they try to use their powers. So they try to leave, but guards stop them. So they retreat. Well, but Phoebe is using her telekinesis to make the balls not hit Billy and Nora. Nora says, look, Phoebe is blocking the spitballs for them. Phoebe says, there's too many of them. Then Max shows up using his telekinesis to make the balls not hit Billy and Nora. Phoebe asks Max what he's doing there, and Max says, no one humiliates Max's brother and sister except Max. Phoebe and Max make the cannons cancel each other out. Max says there's going to be spit everywhere. So Phoebe tells Billy and Nora to run for it, and they do. Phoebe clone, Max clone, and Phoebe clone Fifi, Max clone Max, Phoebe bootleg ripoff clone Fifi, and Max bootleg ripoff clone Matt and Cybron all get hit by the spit. Billy and Nora capture the flag, and Billy and Nora win. Max says it's a photo with the only two people to ever defeat Cybron. Nora says, so now they're cool. So now they're fun enough to hang out with. Phoebe says they always were. They were just caught up with her doing their own stuff. They forgot. They're sorry. Max says, right. Billy and Nora are more important. Right, Max? And Max says, right. Billy and Nora are more important than selling his villain to Cybron for crazy villain. Billy says, drop the act. Billy says, drop the act. This is the most fun the four of them ever had. Pretending not to like them, hiring the Max bootleg clone and the Phoebe bootleg clone, Matt and Phoebe, to set them up in that game so they come to their rescue. Best birthday ever. Phoebe says, his birthday? Oh yeah, it's his birthday. Alright, it's his birthday. Happy birthday. Let's go get him some birthday cake. Nora says, it's not your birthday. And Billy says, he knows. But right now, Phoebe and Max are feeling so guilty. He and Nora can milk them for everything they've got. Nora says, she's thinking 2 season passes to the water park. Then they fist bump. Nora says, smart plan. Billy says, thanks. He took a spitball back to the back of the head. Now he feels a lot smarter. Nora says, she thinks she likes this new Billy. Billy says, thanks. He took a spitball to the back of the head. Now he feels a lot smarter. And Nora just shrugs. And that's where we end the episode. So, that was Doppelgamers. And it was a fine episode. I kind of did like it a bit. I did like how literally they were like, oh, like literally, this is the fun the most of them had. Like, before I didn't like it how literally they just said, oh yeah, by the way, they've never had, like, now they're ignoring them. Like, earlier seasons, Billy, Nora, and Phoebe and Matt have gone on so many adventures together. But now this is the season where they're not into that anymore. And also, the Fifi of the Matt clones. I'm sorry I went over with that joke. I just like calling them the bootleg Phoebe and Max clone. Because literally that's what they were. They were just Phoebe and Max rip off. But anyway. Yeah. And the fact is that they were secretly bad guys and were totally pretending to like Billy and Nora wasn't a surprise. It's just like, of course they were only pretending to like Billy and Nora so they could get them into Cyberon's game, so then Cyberon could humiliate them in front of the world. And then they, of course, get what they deserve. Where they and Cyberon all get splatted on. But anyway, yeah. They got what they deserved. We all know it. But anyway, that's kind of it for this video, and I'll see you next time when we review the next episode, Floral Support. I'm thinking of doing this thing where each episode, like this one has the actual background for the video, has the title of the episode's background, and the next episode has a Chloe one because I just want to show how much I love that character. So next episode might have a Chloe background. Just thinking about it. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time when we review Episode 8, Floral Support, which introduces Allison, Max's love interest, and Jack Griffo's actual girlfriend. Yeah, Jack Griffo's girlfriend is in the next episode. Yeah. And she's also Max's love interest for the series. For the season, I guess. But yeah. Next episode, we'll introduce to Max's pseudo love interest, Allison, and Jack Griffo's actual girlfriend turned ex-girlfriend, Ryan Whitney. The only thing I know her from is Zeke and Luther. I know she changed her name to Newman, but her name was originally Ryan Whitney, and she was on Zeke and Luther. So yeah, and she just joined the Zeke and Luther pod. But anyway, that's it for this episode, and I'll see you next time for the next one, Floral Support. I'll see you next time.